And we're live on YouTube. Welcome to the cafe, everybody. Come on in, grab your coffee or tea, pull up a chair, and let's hang out. Yeah, this is our Tarot Tuesdays show. It's brand new. Well, not brand new. We've done it for a couple weeks now. Last week, I had a whole bunch of people joining me up here on camera, but might be going solo today. So it might be a very short show. Depends on if anybody shows up in the chat, has any questions. So, first of all, I want to let our members know that if you're a member of the guild, you can join us on our live Zoom calls and get mentoring, coaching, get all your questions answered, and readings too, if you want to get a reading. But most of our members are professional readers themselves, so they can do their own cards. But sometimes it's nice to get a perspective from somebody else. So I have this link here from our main website. If you go to tarotbiz.com/Zoom, it explains all of this. It has the links to where you can go and find the Zoom link if you're a member. Basically, it's on our new school community. We have a brand new members only community powered by school. And on the calendar, all of our events, we do 3 Zoom calls a week for our members. And we have one private one, and the other two Tarot Tuesdays, and then the Sunday show are simulcasted here on YouTube. So everybody can join us in the chat on YouTube. But we also do posts on the community page of our new community on school, and the links to the YouTube show, if there's a show that day, along with the Zoom link for members, is available right there. So you'll find all that on the community, and the link to that, thetarotguild.com/community, will take you right over there. Let me see if I can grab some of these links and put them into the chat here. Okay, there's the Zoom link. So you can find out about joining us on Zoom. It's only $5 right now to join the guild. Yeah. And then the community link, there, I found it. Okay. I'll put that in there. That'll take you right over to the community. Also, our main website, tarotbiz.com, that's fairly new too, and it's gorgeous. You guys are going to love it. Go over and check it out. And then if you want to get in contact with anybody, that, including myself, but all of our hosts and Tarot Guild staff members and so forth, we're all on the readings page. If you go over to tarotbiz.com/readings, you can find us over there. And here's our new school community. There's that link again, thetarotguild.com/community. And as you can see, the yellow button right there, join for $5. Yeah. Let's see. Maria came in the chat. Hi, Maria. Happy Tarot Tuesday. Maria's in the chat. We'll see if we get some more people in and if they have any questions and so forth. Meanwhile, let's do the message of the week. Okay, so pushing the wrong buttons here. Here we go. The message of the week. So I pulled the Justice card today. This week, the Justice card steps forward to remind us that truth always balances the scales. Whether we're ready for it or not, expect clarity where there was confusion, honesty where there was half truths, and karmic outcomes that are well deserved. And here's the big takeaway: what you put out is coming back around. So choose integrity over shortcuts and accountability over excuses. Justice doesn't punish, it reveals. Stand in your truth, make fair choices, and trust that the universe has been keeping receipts. Yep. So there's the message for the week of February 2nd. Of course, it's February 3rd right now. We do this on Tuesdays. And then I have another message for you to wind up the week on Sundays. So be sure to join us on Sundays as well. Awesome sauce. Ta-da. So Maria says she has a silly question. By the way, anything's fair game. And I should remind everybody that there's no list to get on. You don't have to type in the chat, can I get a reading? Just type in your specific question. Be as specific as you can. Try to keep it to 1 or 2 lines. Don't write paragraphs or books. Don't need a novel here. And then if you don't have a specific question, but you still want me to pull some cards just to see what comes up, we can do that too. Yeah. And so anybody else joining us, I want to say howdy, howdy. And it's really quiet today, but I kind of thought that was going to happen. It's going to be a very short show, I can tell already. Maybe not even 15 minutes at this rate. So Maria had a silly question, but since I'm originally Greek Serbian and you're Italian, you get my emotional personality. Oh, absolutely, Maria. Will I be able to lose 40 pounds until June? You mean by June, right? You said you said until, or how long will it take? Yeah. And then Sherry says, free question. You just want a message from the universe, Sherry? Let me know in the chat there. By June. Okay. Let's see. Okay. That's a different one. I haven't got that ever. I was going to say in a long time, but I don't think ever, even though that actually is a common question for tarot readers, I just, not me. They always ask me business questions and stuff like that because they know that I'm the business guru. But let's see, do a little bit of shuffling here. Da, 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 da. Yeah, Sherry, just let me know in the chat. You said free question. What question do you have? Or do you just want a message from the universe? Is that what you mean? If so, let me know in the chat here. I'm doing some crazy shuffling because the cards are not cooperating very well today. Don't know why, but oh, okay. Let's see. You see me getting my car back soon for free. Is it in for repairs or something? What's going on with your car, Sherry? This is a new deck, so I'm trying to break it in. The Soho Tarot, which has gorgeous images. My gosh. Just love that. By the way, if you want to pick up your own copy of this, I have a link for that. I have a link for everything. thetarotguild.com/Soha Tarot. So it's SOHA Tarot. SOHATAROT. So just type in your browser thetarotguild.com/Soha Tarot, and it'll take you right over there. I have that queued up somewhere. There it is. I'm going to pop that in the chat for everybody. Let me go to that link and check right now. Yeah, it's still $22.22. So this deck popped up in my feed. I swear it's my mom. It was Christmas time. And, she passed back in March of 25, and it was Christmas 2025. And this deck just popped up in my feed. There's Judgment. And I thought it's got to be a message from mom. And then I went to the page and the price was $22.22. The master builder number twice, basically 22. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is like definitely a synchronicity. This is not a coincidence. So I pulled the trigger and grabbed it, even though I don't buy a lot of decks. I get a deck and I love it and I just use it. you know, and sometimes a whole decade will go by before I go, oh, wait, that's cool. I got to get that one, you know. But, I fall back on the Waite Smith. A couple years ago, I think it's almost a couple years now. Oh, and we were doing more and more YouTube. I found a gold foil version of the Waite Smith and used that for like 2 years straight, especially on these shows because it looks really good visually on camera. But of course, these do too. So that's why I was like, new deck for 2026 here. Okay. Let's see what's going on in the chat here before I pull cards for Maria. Was your mom Italian? Yeah, it was my mom that was Italian, and my last name's Carlisle, which is English. My dad was English, and on both sides there was other things like there's Welsh, German, and so forth, but primarily Italian and English. English, yeah. So Sherry said her card was sent to an impound. The guy I bought it from facility impounded without permission. Well, that's not nice. Hi, Flower Beauty Peacock Rainbow. I'm just going to call you Flower. So thanks for popping in. I think you're new. Let me know. And by the way, if anybody is new here today, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Yeah, we need subscriptions and like the videos. Plus, we have almost 1,000 videos on the channel that you can catch up on. Pick a few that you like and watch through. It helps our watch hours a lot. Yeah. So there's the Soha Tarot. I'm going to take that one down. You stand my Scorpio intensity. Yeah. Well, I have a significant other that's a Scorpio. Exactly. I know I'm not easy. Isn't that true? Oh, Flower said done. Thanks for the subscribe. Yeah, I forget where we're at now. I can look that up real quick. We'll go over to our YouTube channel here to the main front part of the channel. 926 videos, 796 subscribers. We're almost at 800. That means we only need a little more than 200 subscribers to hit that magic 1,000 subscribers. And then we need 4,000 watch hours. And I am clueless as to where we are on watch hours. I haven't checked that in quite a long time. No, that's customization. Where's the earning thing? And it's not showing the info. I think it's because there's an error on our AdSense account. I gotta get that fixed. I haven't been proactive on it because I was like, well, we're not close to monetization yet. With basic monetization, yeah, but yeah. So I'm gonna pull some cards here and start seeing what comes up. Let's see, I'm gonna go back and reread Maria's question here. Dun, dun. Hmm. Actually, I'm going to do a whole 5 card yes no. Oh wow, weird things going on, Maria. I'm getting court card, a lot of court cards. Um, if I take it at face value, I'm getting 4 no's and 1 yes on your question about losing 40 pounds by June. Okay, that doesn't mean you won't lose a lot. It means you might not hit the goal. Now, is it possible to hit the goal? Absolutely. Because I got the Ace of Pentacles. And that tells me that that's a big fat yes. You can definitely get to your goal for sure. But you're at the beginning stages. Okay. I've got the Page of Pentacles suggesting, you know, both pages and aces are in the beginning of things. Okay. So it seems like more research is necessary for you to hit that goal. Another thing, I'm getting a ton of Wands cards. So you're coming up as the Queen of Wands. The Nine of Wands is coming up, suggesting you do have all the tools to lose 40 pounds by June. And then I'm getting the King of Wands, following your passion. Okay, so what it's suggesting here is you're in the beginning stages. You might need to do a little more research with that Page of Pentacles. Um, but the wands are all talking about, including the Queen of Wands, following your passion. So in order to make it happen, you have to really, really want it to happen, and you have to focus on it and look for some help. Do some research. I don't know your eating habits and so forth like that, but 40 pounds is quite a bit. I think they suggest, I'm not a doctor, so this is not medical advice. I'm just saying what I see on YouTube, like everybody else. And they suggest a good steady pace is 1 pound per week. So 40 pounds would take 40 weeks, which I think is way beyond June, but it's doable within this year still. Or is it 52 weeks in the year? Yeah. So it's still doable within 2026. Now, in order to do that by June, I don't know, maybe have June weddings coming up, or you just want to fit in the bikini, and go on vacation, things like that. That might require, for at least a little while, that you get into a different way of dieting, way of eating. Okay. The fastest I've seen is low carb, low carb diets. Um, and it's not like going on a grapefruit diet or one of these diets where it's like reduce your calories down to nothing. You can eat a lot if your carbs are low enough. And I'm talking, 40 pounds starting out, you need to get to 20 or less carbs per day and go from there. You can slowly add more carbs in, and just make sure you don't plateau. You're losing weight and you don't want to plateau. Okay. So if you start plateauing, it's too many carbs you've put back in. So pull them back out again. And I know folks like us, we're big into pasta and all that kind of thing, especially the Italians. Um, but really, in bread, oh my God, you said you're Greek Serbian. Wow. Mediterranean diets, you can lose weight slower. Yep. But low carb, ketogenic, carnivore, keto carnivore. And by the way, all those terms, all they mean is, you know, less than 100 grams of carbs per day versus less than 50 versus less than 20. And carnivore is like zero, zero carbs. And there's so many good things and tasty things that you can eat. First of all meat, so everything from pork to chicken to beef, and even beef or meat substitutes that are vegetarian, you can still eat, that are super low, because there's some that are super low in carb, but you have to really look out for that. But if you're getting whole foods like meats, eggs, dairy, cheese, for sure that it's no carbs or really, really low carbs. It's how I eat, actually. And so I do cottage cheese. And then I have eggs with cheese and do scrambles, and sometimes I put other stuff in it, like ham, bacon. You can eat all the bacon you want. I mean, within reason, but you know what I mean. A lot of bacon you can eat. Eggs you can make 50,000 different ways, right? So there you go. Um, Cheese. I do a lot of like string cheese because that's is that mozzarella? It's provolone or mozzarella. I think it's mozzarella, which is Italian. And so string cheese is the tubes, and you peel it off, and eat strips of it. Um, that's a carb. That's one carb per cheese stick, you know. Or sometimes I have like thick slices of just white American, and I break them in half, break them in quarters, and eat them. Snacking that way throughout the day. Greek yogurt, you mentioned Greek. Well, Greek yogurt is one of the best things, and they have some out there that, of course, plain is best, but you can put a little bit of fruit in and not get too many carbs. Now they have the ones that already have it in it, and it's cheaper, and so a lot of times I go with that because it's cheaper, but it's like 6 grams of carbs, and they have the low or no fat ones, but I don't get those. I want the fat. Okay. And then very low carbs, like 6, 7 carbs, maybe 8 tops, but then some of them have anywhere from like 13 to 18 grams of protein on up to like 25, 30 grams of protein. It's really, really good. Really, really good. Okay, let's see. Oh, my messages haven't been scrolling, so I need to catch up. Pat came in. Hi, Pat. Message from the guides there. And Flower says, I'm going to a dietitian. I lost weight just in 2 months, and she gives us a lot of food to eat and carbs as well. So I've stopped keto now. Yeah, you can eat different ways and lose weight. My clients, the most successful ones using hypnosis and keto is how they did it. The most successful. And not just losing weight, but I mean a lot of weight. And 40 pounds, that's quite a bit, for Maria to lose by June. So I would highly suggest a low carb diet to lose that amount. Now, if you're just wanting to slowly lose weight, there's a lot of ways you can do that. Yep. Um, Scroll back here and see what. So Flower asked if she could post a question. You don't have to ask, by the way. Anybody out there watching right now live, just write your question in and be specific. Do 1 or 2 lines with a specific question, and we'll do a mini reading, pull some cards. And if you don't have a question, just ask for a message from the universe. And let me see if she. Okay, so Flower asks, may I ask why Americans don't go to personal dietitians? Well, they do. They do. I went to my doctor, my A1C had gone up, and he sent me to the dietitian. Why do a lot of people steer clear of the dietitians? Because I don't know how it is in the rest of the world, but here in the US, they go by the old fashioned from the 1970s food pyramid, which is not correct. The biggest part of it is wheat, it's breads and pastas and all this stuff like that. Um, Carbs are your enemy if you are trying to lose fat. Fat doesn't make you fat. Remember Susan Powter in the 80s? Fat doesn't make you fat. Carbs make you fat. And dietitians, they are working on old information that's just not accurate anymore, and people have had a lot of success with reducing sugar and carbs. And of course, you got to move, that's part of the equation. And Susan Powder was big on that, not just diet, but that you had to move. Remember the leotards, 1980s. I'm trying to get to your question here. So we have Ayurvedic wellness resorts that make you lose 10 to 15 kilos in 10 days. Yeah, that's really cool. That kind of a resort idea is like fantastic. Oh, Akasha came in. Hi, Kasha. Akasha. Let's see. And I'm just trying to, I kind of lost track there after, oh, it was Sherry's question, I think. Because a lot of stuff in chat here. Boop, 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 boop. Where did her question go? I'm gonna have to start getting you guys to put your hand, if you click on the icons, the very first one is a pink hand, and that really helps me find your questions when you use the pink hand. Yeah, Sherry was the back in the car thing. Let's see. Hmm. Better do that one as a yes, no, too. Let's see what. Wow. Okay, there's a lot of nights. In fact, the whole spread is bookended by these two knights, the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Cups. It means action, action. And the Emperor working with the powers that be is the only way you're going to get your car back. Four of Pentacles is a yes. And the main central focus card is the Sun card, which again, that's a major arcana card. So this is a big fat yes. You can do it. When I do this as a straight yes, no, I got the Emperor, the Sun card, and the Force. So it says probably yes, you're going to be able to get your car back. But it's not 4 yeses or 5 yeses. So in my system, for it to be a strong yes, it needs to be 4 or 5 yes cards. I've got 3, which means it's probable, it's leaning towards yes, but it still can go either way. And I think the clue is the knights, that you need to take action. Okay. Now, this guy over here is a little bit of a romantic dreamer, whereas this guy is more focused. Okay, so the two of them combined, that's how you want to go at this. And the Emperor card, that's the powers. The how's that saying go? The powers that be. Um, that is either the impound, the judge, a judge, or the person that did this. And why did they impound the car that you bought from them? And big questions is like, do you have receipts? And things like that. uh Action. The knights are about action. They're about doing and creating, building. They're like master number 22 I was talking about earlier, the master builder number. That's the number of the night. And you will have to take action, in order for this to happen. I don't know whether it's going to be, completely free. Could be. Okay. So we're at the bottom of the hour. I'm going to look for some more questions here. Flower posted her question above. Did I see yours, Flower? I saw your questions about, diet and things like that, but I don't see your question. Oh, wait, here it is. Why was this person sent into my life, and what can I do to get over him? Okay, so you're past it now, it looks like. Maria says keto is best for me. Yep, there you go. Um, and we'll get to all those other questions, but first, real quick here, I want to remind you of our tip jar. It's at tarotbiz.com/coffee. You can grab us a cup of coffee if you're enjoying the shows, if you get a good reading, if you just like hanging out with us. Also, here's another clue. When you buy us a cup of coffee, if you let us know in chat that you bought us a cup of coffee, we'll spend more time with you. We'll pull more cards. We'll also let you jump, if there's a say 10 questions in there and yours is like 5 or 6 or 7, we'll jump you to the top of the list. So that's another thing. And by the way, I don't say this a lot on the shows, but it's not just for this show. In other words, let's say you buy us a cup of coffee like right after the show and you let us know, either you message me on Facebook or send me an email, dax@tarotbiz.com or something like that, and let me know. Then the next show that we do, which for me will be Sunday. Okay. If you buy a cup of coffee now, your question will be first in the queue. So that's another thing you can do. You don't have to buy us the cup of coffee, right during the show, during the live show. In fact, that's hard to check on and everything. It's actually better if you buy us a cup of coffee right before a show or the day before and send me an email or a message. Hey, Dax, I bought you a cup of coffee. I got a question. That's the best way to do it. Now, you still can do it. It's okay. You can still do it live right now in chat. You can pop over to tarotbiz.com/coffee, grab us a cup of coffee, come back, say, hey, it's Jane. I have this question and I bought you a cup of coffee. And we'll go right to your question. And then just a couple other things that I wanted to mention is like upcoming events and shows and so forth. We had I kept telling everybody how, oh, we're going to try Thursdays in February. Well, there was a scheduling conflict, so I had to move the Q&A coaching and coffee Zoom call to Friday this week. Now, the next 3 or 4 weeks are going to be on Thursday, same time, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Now, this week, though, it's going to be on Friday, February 6th, same time, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. These are our private Zoom calls. They're not recorded. They're not broadcast, simulcasted over YouTube like this one is being right now. It's only for members. And we do that so there's a little bit of privacy so you can like ask any question you want to ask. And especially if you are an aspiring tarot reader or already a tarot professional and you want to grow your business or you want to start your business and you have lots of questions about marketing and promotion. You have questions about your social media, your online presence. Do I need a website? How can I, affordably have an online presence? Because we have a lot of assistance in that area for you at the Tarot Guild and our school community, Tarot Biz. So these are the sessions where you can come on and ask all that. You can also get coaching. And also, if you are enrolled in my Tarot by the Numbers course, my Tarot and Numerology course, and you're going through the modules and you have questions, this is your time to come on and ask questions about the course, about tarot in general, numerology in general. By the way, you don't have to be a professional tarot reader or an aspiring professional tarot reader to join the guild. All of our viewers here right now, watching right now and chatting with me in chat, you guys can join the guild too. And if you remember, I had up the school banner. It's just $5 to join. And so what are you getting for $5 a month? Well, you get to come to all these private Zooms. You get to come to all of our private workshops. And you, during these live shows, you can join us on the Zoom call. Like I'm on Zoom right now, broadcasting through YouTube, through the YouTube studio to YouTube. You can join us on the Zoom and talk with us live. You can have your camera on, or if bad hair day or something, you can turn your camera off and just be on audio. And you can ask your questions live. And of course, if you're on the Zoom call, you're going to get priority. So in addition to going to our coffee page and buying us a cup of coffee, the other way to do it is to just join the guild, $5 a month, and you can come on these shows whenever you want, and you can get a reading and get priority. We take yours first, we stop what we're doing, we go right to you and any other questions that you have. So what else is coming up? So this weekend coming up, Saturday and Sunday, the 7th and the 8th. So Saturday the 7th is Michelle's Mystic Corner. Michelle's back. Yay. I miss Michelle. I haven't seen her in a while. Anyway, she's going to be back because she had, there was 5 Saturdays last month. And so there was like a week or 2 week, I think it was a 2 week gap in between shows. So she'll be back with another Michelle's Mystic Corner this Saturday, and she's going to be talking about the power of your power name. So she'll be talking numerology and your power name number. That's Saturday, February 7th, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And then on Sunday, we're going to be talking about how to market your tarot deck or book. Plus, of course, doing live readings, live chat on the YouTube, and a live Zoom call, which you can join us on. And then next Tuesday, I'll be back here again, Tarot Tuesdays. And then, as I said, our Q&A, coaching, and coffee private Zoom calls are going to be on Thursday, starting February 12th. And then that weekend, the 14th, it's Valentine's Day, and Michelle will be back doing a show, Valentine's Day love readings. There you go, Maria. Valentine's Day love readings on the 14th, and Saturday the 28th, the last day of February. Which is not showing up for some reason. Ooh, something happened with that. Well, we have our crown share Saturday, which is actually February 24th here. Let me rename that. I got the wrong date in there, so I'm going to change that to the 24th. I think that's right. Let me check the calendar. Saturday. No, it's Saturday the 28th. Why does it say that? Oh, it's still got January in here. That's why. That's strange. Somehow that didn't get updated to the 28th. I wonder if I can do that. Oh, look, it got updated. And we're going to fix that to the back to the 28th there. Okay. And then we're into March, and I don't have March's shows ready yet. So yeah, our next event's going to be this Friday, and then we'll see you on the weekend. Let's see. Flower says it's really late in her country. Da da da. Yeah, Sherry, did you get my read? She said again, do you see me getting your car back? Like I said, strong possibility that you get your car back, but you're gonna have to work on it. Gonna have to work on that one. Oh, Pat's question, and then we're gonna get out of here pretty quick here. Pat's question, which isn't a question, it's just, what message is coming through. Okay, so I've got the Four of Wands, and that's a celebration, followed by the Lover's card. So that tells me wedding reception. Okay, so do you have a wedding reception that you're supposed to go to, or is that hinting at something for you? Just saying. Could be. And then I got the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups is talking about, it's the crying over spilt milk card. There's 5 cups. 3 of them have spilt. They've fallen over. They've spilt their contents. The person looks distraught. Behind them are 2 upright cups. completely full, but they're not noticing that. Okay. So that's the message with this. There's going to be some kind of feeling of lack in some kind of, I don't know, maybe you go to a wedding. It looks more like a wedding because we got the lover's card here, but it could be anything. It could be a birthday party, a bar mitzvah, it could be anything, any kind of gathering, or office party. It could be anything really, but the lover's card really is hinting towards a wedding, and then a wedding reception, and what there's something that's going to come up during that, and it's going to cause you to feel this way, to feel dejected. Oh my god, all is lost, crying over spilt milk, kind of thing. And when that happens, remember, oh yeah, that's what Dax said. Yeah. Go, oh, that's what Dax said, and look at the two upright cups, because there's still something really positive there as well. So that's the message I'm getting for Pat. And then let's see. I told Sherry, okay. And let's see, we already did flowers, I believe. Oh, wait, I think flowers was the one about why was this person. Uh-huh. Okay, so the five of get my camera back up here. The five of Pentacles. Okay, this is the being out in the cold card, but help is right there. I mean, maybe they came into your life because you needed to not be alone. All right. And what the universe is saying here is the Hanged Man. Okay, so there's going to be a delay, and I think that was part of your question was how do you get over them? It's not going to be instantaneous. There's a delay, but the Hanged Man is one of the thinking outside the box cards in tarot. So I want you to try to get my green screen back. I want you to think outside the box and look at the situation from a distance, and that takes the sting out of it. But also, it allows you time to contemplate. Which, by the way, I got the Four of Cups, contemplating about the situation. Typically in the Four of Cups, we're looking at these options, and none of them are satisfying, but there's a fourth option being offered from the universe that we're not even quite aware of yet, because we're looking either at the cups or straight ahead, and we're contemplating. So this is a time period, flower, for you to take a step back and contemplate, and look at there's more than one reason. Look at the multiple reasons why this person, or for that matter, anybody, would come into your life. And you want to be asking yourself, it's not about them, it's about you. So you want to be asking yourself, why did I need this? And what did I learn, or what can I learn from the situation? It's all about you. It has nothing to do with the person uh, that was in your life. Apparently, the way I'm reading your sentence there, no longer is, and you want to get over them. Well, time heals that, right? But also taking the advice from the tarot here to really feel that all out. And a lot of times we want to not feel the emotions, but it's the opposite is what you should be doing. Fully feel them, then you can release them. Okay. And also, by getting insight into yourself and into why this person came into your life and what lessons can be learned, that will help you get over the person as well. From my own experience and from thousands of clients, um, you never really ever do. I mean, I have people from decades past, many, many decades even, that came into my life and went out of my life for various in various ways. Some not so good, some good, but some not so good. And I've had, literally had people die on me. And I, I, they still come up. And whenever they pop up, even if it's somebody I'm thinking of from like 40 years ago, I immediately, I don't just shrug it off. I immediately go, why did that happen? Why is that memory or that person popping up right now? There's always something going on. There's always some connection with some current circumstances. And it's a message from the universe. You got to look at it like that when you see these kind of things, and lessons learned, and even if you start, dating other people or other people come in your life, like I don't even know from the way you asked this question necessarily this person was a romantic interest or not. I'm just assuming that maybe I shouldn't, but as other people come in your life, especially if that was romantic and other relationships develop and so forth like that, uh, that person, the memory will come up less. But when it does pop up, that's a clue now that you have programmed in your subconscious. So the universe can bring that up when you need to remember that lesson. When you need to remember that lesson. So there you go. I hope that helps you out. I got to get out of here. Got lots of stuff to do. But Michelle will be here Saturday. I'll be back on the air here on YouTube on Sunday, but we also have that private Zoom meeting, Q&A coaching and coffee on Friday. You can join me on Friday if you're a member. If you're not a member yet, get over there and join. All you got to remember really is our main website, because if you go to tarabiz.com and you click on join, either in the drop down menus or right there, they call it the top fold, the top of the website, there's a join now button that'll take you down on the same screen where you can read all about everything you get in the membership. And then there's a button. When you click that button, it's going to take you over to our new community powered by school, and you can join right there. It's $5 a month, and that's our beginning of the year. It's going to go up to 9. So I don't know when I'm going to do that exactly. I'm kind of holding out and giving more time, for people to jump on that $5 deal. Alrighty. Thanks everybody for being here. And I know Maria was in first, Sherry, Flower, Akasha came in. Oh, that's Raven Marlowe. I didn't know that was you. I didn't see Raven at the end. All I saw was Akasha. Hi, Raven. How you been? You got to come up on one of these Zooms with me one of these days here. And then first name, last name. Let's see. Oh, I didn't even notice Melody and first name, last name come in. They're all at the bottom, and I was at the top going through the questions. That's why. First name said, "Do you see me getting a job in this month? Part time, full time?" Hmm. I'm not sure about that. Let me. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Ace of Swords. That to me is a big fat yes. As long as you're really focused on it. I always say this when people are looking for a job. It's like, it's not about the scattergun approach. It's about focusing on the job that you want and forgetting everything else. Just that one idea, just that one job. So put all your energy, all your focus, first name, on getting that job, that one job. Basically, I tell people, instead of sending out thousands or hundreds of resumes and letters and stuff like that, pick one company, one job, and do everything you can to apply and follow up, your daily meditation on that. Focus on the one thing. That way the universe knows what to do. When you do the scattergun approach, then the universe doesn't know what to do. And then I got something weird. I got the Three of Cups, which is celebrate good times. Come on. And then we got the three of Swords. Okay, so we've got celebration right next to anguish and heartache and so forth like that. Isn't that strange? So the first one I got though was the Three of Cups, and I was thinking, you know, that's very positive to me. I feel more full time than part time. But then I got the Three of Swords, and I'm like, what is going on here? So again, I feel like it's similar to what I was just talking about with the focus on the one thing. Um, I feel like it's a could go either way thing here. All right. And it's entirely first name what you do with this energy, with how you approach getting the job, whether it ends up really, really good or not so good. Trying to get my green screen back here. Yeah. Crazy, huh? I may have to start doing the shows without the green screen again. It was working really good. In fact, if I do one card, I never have a problem. It's when I try to get closer, and especially if I have multiple cards. And see, now it's not even doing it at all. I can do one hand, and the green screen is working fine. Ish. Fine ish. But the overall answer is yes. Let's see. What's first name saying? My business could just pick up and big money windfall. True. I just want the money. Don't really want a job. Just want the money while I work on my business. Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. In fact, now that you've said that, that makes a lot more sense. Like, for instance, Six of Wands. As soon as you said that, I got the Six of Wands, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's the real success. And then the King of Pentacles, that's ultimately the position you want to be in. See, it's if I get too close to the camera, I guess. The King of Pentacles, that's where you want to be. And to me, the whole feeling of this, the success and being like the King of Pentacles, that's entrepreneurial. That is not job. That is not job. So with this additional information, looking back on the Ace of Swords, I think it wasn't it the Ace of Swords. I want to make sure. Oh, that one flipped around. Yeah, Ace of Swords. So the whole job thing, this completely changes that outlook. Yes, you can still get the job and you can still follow the advice that I originally gave you. However, that in conjunction with the King of Pentacles, Six of Wands, and what you've just told me about, your business, that's where your real focus has to be. And the money stuff will work itself out. In fact, worrying about the money and not focusing on the business is what's doing the blocking. I know it's hard to wrap our heads around that kind of thing, but that's what's actually going on. You can make money any myriad of ways. You can just get a job, any job. Then, see, I was thinking you were talking about a career change and focus. I didn't know about the business part. One sec. I hate drinking on camera, but sometimes you just have to do it. Oh, except coffee. We always drink on coffee because it's a cafe. Mm. But so where I'm going with that is that it seems like your business should be the main focus. So as far as having enough money to keep you going while you work on the business, then what you want to do is, well, a couple things you can do, but the main one is any income source. So that could be, Uber Eats or Uber, Lyft. It could be Amazon Flex. God, there's dozens and dozens of apps out there. Medical supply deliveries. Um, there's apps where you can hire your time out. I can't think of a good example, but the first thing that pops in my mind is somebody gets one of those flat pack Kia deliveries, right, from Kia, and they need it put together. And there's apps for that. People go on the app and go, hey, I need someone to put this together. And they hire you, you come out, you put it together, and you make money. And that might, I'm not saying any of these are right for you. I'm just saying there are so many opportunities to just make money, you know. uh yeah, there's some people that do this as a career. They have a whole system of doing the apps, and they're doing um Uber, not deliveries, what's the word for it, uh passengers, but they're also doing deliveries, and then they're doing deliveries on other apps. In fact, doing multiple apps and having them all going is how a lot of people make this work, you know. Um, and some of them are doing it practically as careers, and some of them do really, really well, make a lot of money. But for most people, it's just making money. It's just a means to an end, you know. And so that's the way you should look at it. Okay, what are things I can do that I don't really want to do, but I could do for a month or two and get money in. I could sign up for Uber, sign up for Lyft, sign up for Amazon Flex. I forget the name of the other companies, but package deliveries and flowers, and oh my god, it's just endless, endless. The IKEA idea, or maybe you're hiring your time out to do something different than putting furniture together, but you know what I mean. First name, there is just so much. We live in this fantastic time where you can, like, if you need money, you can find a way to do it. And by the way, if you can't figure it out, go on to Gemini or Chat GPT or whatever. But I tend to use Gemini now. Go on to Gemini, go on to Chat GTP. I need ideas just to make money on the side, and it'll dump a whole bunch of information ideas, and then you can go in and look at those, and you can ask for more information on each one of them, and AI will give you that. Okay. Meanwhile, that is not your main focus. You want to just get some money coming in so that your actual main focus is on that, on your business, not job. Job is just to keep you, sustain you while you get the business going. Now, the other thing to do, remember I said there was two. So one is, get with AI, go on ChatGPT and Gemini and Grok and whatever, and ask them all bunches of, just keep asking questions. In fact, was watching something yesterday where it said the best thing is to get onto the microphone and just talk. It talks back to you, you talk to it, and you can tell it to type out certain things that you want typed instead of, tell it to me audio, but type it out, have conversations, get ideas so that something you can implement almost instantaneously to get money coming in. That's one. Second one, look at your business, and there might be a whole bunch of different aspects to your business, and there might be a whole different bunch of things, different products and services, uh, various ways you're going to go at your business, stuff like that. But just for now, put everything on the back burner except one idea, that Ace of Swords that I was pointing at, that I pulled out of the deck here, that Ace of Swords. Pick one. And what this one has to be is it has to be the biggest problem in your business, whatever your business entails. Let's say your business is all about, I always use golf, and you're going to be doing this and you're going to be doing that, and working with pro shops, and working with golf courses, and you have all these ideas and all these different things you're going to be doing. Great, but find one thing in all of that, in the giant overarching world of golf. Find the biggest problem you can that you either have a solution to, or again, AI, find a solution to it, whatever that problem is, or maybe, the example I always give is golf. And I always say, okay, so people want to work on their swing and they want to work on all these individual things. You don't have to know anything about golf, but if you know how to do NLP and hypnosis, you can help solve their chip-in problem. And that's worth thousands to a golfer. It's not a cheap sport. Yeah. Find the big one, the one where it's so big that you can charge so much money for. Why am I saying this? Because your question was about, getting a job, getting money coming in while you're working on your business. Okay. And yes, I gave you a bunch of ideas about, various ways you can make money quickly, to sustain you. But then you want to look at your business and you want to come up with that one thing. Why? Because while let's say you go on Uber and you start doing that for a week or two, whatever, while you're working on this big thing. Once you have that solution, and once you go out and get one or two customers, you have completely replaced the ride share or the package delivery or the flowers delivery or the IKEA assembly or whatever crazy thing you were doing for a couple of weeks just to make money. You've completely replaced it because you're charging $500, $650, $700, $1,000, $1,200 to solve the big problem. And then you have a business. You need to get that one big thing and just get a handful, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd say, 2 to 5. Once you've got your first 2 to 5 customers at $500 to $1,000, $1,200, $3,000, depending on what you're doing, you have solved that problem for the income side of things. You no longer have to rely on Amazon Flex or Uber or a regular job, office work, whatever. You don't have to worry about that anymore because you've solved that problem. Then you can start adding in all these things you have on the back burner for your business. I'd also like to make this thing for golfers and sell it, and this thing, and I have a book, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing consulting with pro shops or whatever. I have no idea what it is, but get that one big problem to solve that. I keep trying to get rid of this card, and I keep having to get it out. That Ace of Swords moment, okay? That one idea, that one big giant problem, whatever your business is, whatever um, clientele you service, what is their biggest problem, and how can I solve that? And that's what you work on. But to get money coming in on the side, you know, do a side hustle or several of them if you need it, do two or three or four, whatever is required to keep you afloat, to get that one big giant problem, and you get it solved, and you've solved that problem for your first couple, one or two or three customers. It works. You get testimonials from them that it works, preferably also, a nice paragraph, but also a video of them going, yeah, I went to first name, last name, and I had this huge problem with XYZ. And, we did hypnosis or coaching or whatever, however you're solving this problem. And, it completely solved my problem. Get three or four testimonials, and now you've got a real business, and you can stop doing the side hustles at that point. Yep. And she says, thanks, Dad. You make it sound so easy. Yeah, it's not. It's not. And that's the thing. The difference between the people that start a business that's successful and the people that don't. Most people don't. But most people that start also fail. Why is that? It's because it's actually hard work. You actually have to commit to it. And most people are lazy and unwilling to commit to doing it. You know, the people that are successful are the ones that, I'm working on this big problem and I'm working three side hustles, Uber Eats and Amazon Flex and, package delivery and all this stuff on the side just to make enough money, just to keep me going while I'm getting this business set up, while I'm getting this first. Tesla didn't come out with all these cars and robots and autonomy and everything that Elon, I call him Elmo, by the way, that Elmo is pushing, now, and they had one car. They created the Roadster. It was ridiculously expensive. Only certain people could afford it, but because it was so expensive, they were able to take that money and then work on developing a little less expensive, the S model. So they come out with the S model, and then they're able to launch the X. And by the way, they've canceled the S and X. If you haven't heard the news, the cars that really put them on the map, it wasn't the Roadster, it was the S that put them on the map. And then they're just selling to some. They've gone to from selling to a really tiny niche at hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, down to 100,000 and just below 100,000 with the S and X. So they're selling to more people, so more revenue comes in, and then they're able to take that and they're able to design the Model 3, which even more people now can afford, and then they're able to come out with a better version of that, which is called the Model Y, which is the biggest seller. So it's the same thing with your business. You start with that one thing. What's your Tesla Roadster? uh what big problem are you solving within your interest area and who you're servicing, and create a solution or solutions for that one big problem, get clients, solve that problem, get referrals, and then you can expand out from there. Anyway, I got to get out of here. I am 11. It's actually 111 on my computer right now. 11 111. Master number 11, the master illuminator number. I hope everything we chatted about today illuminates things, not just for first name, last name, but for everybody listening, because that information slash advice that we just went over, listen to it a couple more times. It applies to everything in every business and almost everybody's situation. Yeah. And Joanna came in. I'm sorry, Joanna. I can't do a reading for you right now because I am 11 minutes over. Michelle will be here on Saturday doing readings. I will be here on Sunday on YouTube. You can also join us Friday on the private Zoom call for members, and you become a member. How, guys? By going over to the community, thetarotguild.com/community. That'll take you right to our new school powered community. We're on school now, and you can join for $5. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thanks, everybody. And I'll see you all on, if not at the private Zoom meeting on Friday, I will see you all on Michelle's show in the chat and on Sunday up here on camera. Bye, everybody.